Hello, all you Fam 50-plussers. How is everybody? Well, we have been 2 weeks in Florida, and when we got back, I weighed myself, and there was a 5-pound gain. No big deal, right? Wrong. I'm going to grab some water. To me, I've worked really hard. I have worked really hard to maintain this weight. Being in my 70s, pounds come on like this and they leave like this. It takes forever to lose pounds at this age. Therefore, that's why I posted, 5-pound gain. A lot of people responded like, oh, for heaven's sakes, Mitzi, what's 5 pounds? You wouldn't believe how many pounds I have to lose. That's your mindset, your lifestyle, your status. But I'm going to tell you what we decided after our travel and what we're going to do differently. First of all, we were like out of control. We were like kids in a candy store. With what's gone on the last couple years, we haven't really traveled that much. So we have, but not really like we did this time. We were at the beach, Holden Beach in North Carolina, a few months ago. It was a shorter trip. We had more control. We were cooking more and whatnot. This trip, we were all over the place with lots of different people doing wonderful things. But we just, as my late dad used to say, went whole hog. We did like everything. So here's what we learned, that the mindless social eating literally bites us in the butt for me and Bob. We're just eating and talking and having a little wine and not paying any attention. Whoa, do those calories add up? And so we're going to help each other or remind ourselves mindless eating is like, whoa, it's the demise of any control. We just don't even think about what we're doing, right? And we also talked about, Bob and I have done this before, we've split meals. Often the portions are so big when we go out that easily you can split a meal. Or we'll often take some, the doggy bag to go and take a portion of it home and heat up for lunch or whatever. Some people wouldn't be caught dead doing that. Well, we have no problem with that. Number one, we believe it's a sin to throw away good food. So if we can bring it home and make it work, we think that's the right thing for us. Maybe not you. Order smarter. And we know about carbs. We know what they do. They go right here or thighs. It's just this whole area is where the carbs land. That's not my opinion. That's what it is. And you all know the information that's out there. So, for instance, for breakfast, we went to this restaurant and with my cousin Amy and Kevin, and it was a fabulous kind of an old-fashioned diner. So Bob gets pancakes plus big chunk of cornbread, plus there were potatoes. I mean, seriously, I think that was the meal. Anyway, that's probably 1,000, 1,200 calories in just breakfast. So we're just having coffee and talking and having a good time, and before we knew it, gone. So that is one trap. And the other is we didn't exercise as much. I had a little foot surgery, so I couldn't really do what I normally do, but I could have gotten out more and done a little bit more. That's super, super important. Walking. So eating breakfast in and lunch, either lunch or dinner in, instead of all the time eating out. That's the death of any kind of plan, is eating out all the time. It can be done, but it has to be really calculated. So to reinforce what I just said, is the mindless eating is a huge trap. Not thinking about it is a huge trap. Social eating is a huge trap. Just eating whatever. I can't tell you how many times I had sweet potato fries. And don't think that I am not one to have a good time if I'm watching what I'm eating. This is not the point of this post. The point of this post is the 80-20 is what we normally go by. That's 80% of the time we're eating pretty darn good. Clean eating. We don't use a lot of packaged food, very little fast food, very, very little. And so we're, the lean protein, we're going to get into that in some of these posts, what we do and how we do it. That's why I'm in the kitchen, because we're going to have a kind of a paint by numbers, step by step. So we are definitely going to be in the kitchen some. But I want a good time. I love people. I love this whole thing. But I don't want to come home and deal with this, because this is where it is. Why is this so detrimental to our health? Because this is where heart issues come from, gut issues. We know the percentage keeps going up of how much health stems from our gut, everything. So we'll be talking about that. But when we are all having the paunch and all this around here, it's the number one sign for heart health, is to get rid of this. So I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. My role is to give what I know and what is out there. So we want to get rid of that paunch. We want to get rid of those 5 pounds or whatever the pounds are that land in places that are detrimental to our health. So do you know what a set point is? A set point is where your body wants to stay. And what happens to most older individuals from 50 on, we're aging gracefully here. So from 50s, then in the 60s, then in the 70s, our weight is a challenge. And each decade is harder, as most of you will attest to. But what happens with the set point is your body just is like, I'm not letting go of these pounds. This is where I'm staying. And to break that is like, nails on the blackboard. So I broke my set point that wants to be 5 or 6 or 7 pounds over where it's healthy for me to not have this. And so that's why I was whining about the 5 pounds. I had taken care of busting that set point. So now my body is close to where it should be, but those lingering pounds, they don't want to go away. So this is why I'm doing this and why I'm talking about those pounds, which I know there's eyes rolling. But that where we were in Florida, the pollen was out big time. So people were having all these allergies and all these issues, and so this is a residual of that. So sorry, guys. So the set point is not anything that is pie in the sky thinking. Your body wants to stay where it's comfortable, and that's what you have to bust through, and that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to give you a Cliff Note version of some things to munch on, as we get ready to dig into this. Summer's coming, lighter weight clothes. We're not going to have all these big things that hide. Well, some people will, but a lot don't want to have to hide their pounds. They want to get rid of them. So I'm going to go off on a bunny trail. Don't kill the messenger. But the 3 things that are the traps, the worst things for COVID is age, can't do anything about that, diabetes, and being obese. Those 3 put an individual into a major higher risk. Weight is nothing to go, oh, I don't care, all my friends are like this. Honey, please don't be like that. Care about how much you weigh. I care how much you weigh. I hope you do. And this is the time of year where let's do this together. It's a battle for me. If I didn't pay attention, I would be 15, 20 pounds heavier. Trust me, I can gain like that. So if I can do it, you can too, okay? So here's the Cliff Notes version of more to come. Drink lots of water, we'll tell you why. No eating after 7 p.m. We'll get into that. Sleep routines matters. There are more obesity people that stay up late than those that have a regular get up. Or, you know, Ben Franklin, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. We'll be learning good carbs versus bad carbs. Fruit, is it good or bad? Eggs, good or bad? Watch those drinks. They're loaded with calories. I see the Starbucks drinks and I'm like, there's 600 calories right there. Easy. Exercise. Just walking every day. In the house if it's yucky weather. Do you know being sedentary and sitting is now likened to smoking? It's the smoking of our day. Get up and move. Salt is not the culprit that we thought it was. Sugar is. So we often do not know what we do not know. But this is why we're doing this group, so that we can help each other, inform each other. A scripture says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And perish has a lot of different meanings, but it can be quality of life, it can be illness, sickness, and death. But to perish for lack of knowledge is not going to be this group, because we are about getting more and more knowledge. So stay tuned on how to get more knowledge, your quality of life, your longevity, and yes, maybe even your life depends on the knowledge you get and how you implement that knowledge, okay? So I would appreciate it if you like or comment. I have an online course, a Cliff Notes version of the downsizing of things to come, so be watching for that. And so here's our motto. We do more for ourselves, which is all of these things, so that we can be more for others. Okay, you all? Bless you. I hope that some of this gets you thinking and motivated. Okay? See you next time.